Alright, so I want to go ahead and do the first lesson with you guys. Parents, if you're watching this, I would let the kids read this first and then I'll reread it for them after that. They're very good readers and it'll give them some good practice. But I want to go ahead and read the first lesson for them, and I'm reading off of a laptop, so if you see me veering off, that's what I'm doing. But the name of the first lesson is "A Bank is Helpful," and it's by Catherine Rotman and illustrated by Alex Weishart. Sometimes they're going to ask who wrote the story or what the story's name was. Um, the first page says, Kirk has money. He needs a safe place to keep it. And in the picture, you're going to see Kirk holding a lot of cash in his hand. And cash is just one of the forms of money that we use. Like I said, there's debit cards, there's checks. Kirk has cash in his hand, and he needs a safe place to keep it. And by safe, that means it being somewhere that nobody can get it, take it, where he feels like it's comfortable, I guess would be another good word for him to leave it. So he's looking for a place to put his money that's safe, that'll keep it and make sure it's taken care of. The next picture has a bed and then it has a box with some money in it. It says, where can Kirk keep his money? Under the bed or in a box? Some people have money hidden like that around their house. But it's probably not the best thing to do, especially if you're a student. You want to make sure and let your parents help you with that, and it'll teach you responsibility if you learn how to keep up with your money. But I personally would not put money in my bed or in a box. That's just me, but I wouldn't do that. So Kirk's thinking about that. Does he want to put it in his bed or put it in a box? Let's see what Kirk decides. Kirk decides this. Kirk can put his money in a bank. People keep their money in a bank, and you might have been in a bank before. In a bank, usually it's a big building that you go in, and there's always people in a line, and some of them are cashing checks, some of them are bringing money in there to put in the bank, and that bank is going to be the safe place for Kirk to put his money. And we talked about that in our high frequency words. The bank is going to be where Kurt keeps his money at because it's safe and he knows at the bank there's no way anybody's going to get his money. Our next slide is a bank, and it says a bank is safe and a bank is helpful. We already talked about safe, and safe means somewhere where you don't have to worry about it. Just like us, when things happen, like right now where there's things going on outside, and we're staying in our house to keep us safe. And some of you may not understand, but that's why your mom and your dad want you to stay inside. They're trying to keep you safe right now because there's people that have gotten sick outside and they don't want you to get sick. Well, the word safe can apply to our money too. So to keep our money safe, we put it in a bank, and it says a bank is helpful. Now, y'all know what being helpful is. Helpful is when, and a good example of it is a lot of times Trey will get Ashton to do things for him. Ashton's very helpful. Ashton will go sometimes and he'll grab breakfast for us. He does a lot of different things that I ask him to do besides taking my chair every chance he gets. But Ashton's a very helpful guy, and being helpful, the bank does that, but it's helpful in the fact that it keeps your money safe and it makes it where you can use it different places where you don't have to carry cash around all the time. It says Kirk and his mother go to the bank. Kirk opens up bank accounts. One of the high frequency words that we have is bank accounts. Well, Kirk's with his mom in this bank, and they're opening up an account for Kirk. And that account is going to be something that he puts his money in, where he can keep up with how much he saves and how much he spends. And now you can even check it. Like I do this all the time. I check on my phone to see what my bank balance looks like with an app on my phone. And I know y'all all use apps for different things, but Kirk and his mom go to the bank and they're going to set up a bank account. Kirk puts money into a checking account. The bank will keep his money safe. And the picture shows a checking account and it has a check by it. And checks, we used to use checks a lot. Your parents probably still use them some to pay their bills, but a check is a piece of paper and you write your name on it, or you sign your name on it, and you write who you're paying on there, and then the amount you're paying, and you write it out, and then you put the number as well, and you give this check to the person you're paying. Once they get the check, they can cash that check, and that means they get the money out of your account for it, so they can cash this check, and the money comes from your bank and it comes out of your account. But that's what you use a check for, and that's why you set up a checking account. It says Kurt can use his money to buy things. He can use a check to pay for them, and that's what we just explained, and it shows a picture of that. And where Kurt's hand is in that picture is where he's going to write who he's paying to on that particular check. Okay, so here's the next one. And like me, your parents might carry cash. I almost never have cash money at all. I use my debit card for pretty much everything. I just had to go to the pharmacy, and the way I paid at the pharmacy was using my debit card. It says Kurt can use a debit card to buy things. The money comes from his checking account. See, so a debit card is kind of like an electronic way to pay for something without having to write a check. And usually it comes out faster from your account as well. If you use a debit card, let's say your parents go to Walmart and they use a debit card at Walmart. By the time they walk out of the door of Walmart, that money has already come out of the bank, out of their account. So a debit card is just another way to get money from the bank, all right? Kurt puts money into a savings account. He wants to save for big things. The bank will keep his money safe. So a savings account is another account besides his checking account where he puts money aside. Like me, Mr. Talbert's getting older. So we have a savings account of money that we're putting aside because one day me and my wife both want to retire, and that means to stop working, and we want to be able to do things once that happens. Well, the only way we'll do that is if we don't spend all our money from every check. That's why we have a budget, to try to put money aside. So we have a savings account, and then Kirk is making a savings account, and what he's going to do is he's going to put money aside. Let's say Kirk just got a job and he's been working for like 2 weeks. We're going to say that. And he's paid his bills, and after he got his bills paid, and after all the things that were in his budget, he has $25 left. So let's say Kirk puts that $25 in his savings account, and what Kirk wants more than anything is a Nintendo Switch. I hope he can find one, for one thing. But if he puts $25 in every single week, in a month he'll have $100. And if he keeps doing that, if you multiply 100 times 3, that's going to be $300 in his savings account if he does that for 3 months. All right, a Nintendo Switch is about $300. So if Kirk saves and puts money in his savings account, he's going to have enough money in about 3 months to buy that Switch that he wants. Well, then he's going to have to buy games too, and they're not cheap, so he's going to have to put money aside for that as well. It says Kurt can earn money from his savings account. Kurt keeps his money in the bank. The bank gives him more money. So when you put money in a savings account, you get money from that. There's a big word called interest that banks pay you for having money in your account. So just for putting money in that savings account, they give you more money. Like every month or so, they add a small portion to what you have in there. So having a savings account, you put your money in, and then you get more money with that money. It says people can get a loan from the bank. They use the money now, they pay the money back later. So the way what a loan is, it's money that you may not that you don't have in the bank, but the bank will give you this money, but you have to pay it back, and they usually charge you more to pay it back. Let's say you get $300 from the bank, and I'm just going to give you a number, but the bank probably, when you pay it back, it's going to be more like $330, $340, something like that, and that's interest as well. So in a savings account, you can earn interest. In a loan, you pay interest, so the money comes in on a savings account, more money goes out on a loan. So sometimes we have to take loans, like for example, when we bought our car, we had to take a loan from the bank, and we pay each month a certain amount, and one day we'll have our car paid off, but every month we're paying on that loan that we got from the bank. And it means that we borrowed the money to pay for our whole car, but now every month the car's paid for by the bank, but now we're paying the bank back. So people can get a loan from the bank, they use the money now, and they pay the money back later. A bank is helpful. A bank keeps Kirk's money safe. It helps him save and spend his money. The end. So that's the end of the lesson for the day. I hope you guys read it, and I hope that was helpful. And like I said, if anybody needs me, just you can have your parents call me. You can have them email me. I'm watching my email all the time. But I'll have another lesson for you tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.